Hey guys, welcome to another video and thanks for clicking on this one. I do really appreciate the time that you are spending to watch this video, and I hope that you benefit from this one. This is really to address those of you that have applied to the Speedwell program and to congratulate those of you that have been selected. It's amazing. It's really a great joy of mine to see those emails, those notifications, just sharing that you've been selected. And it brings me a lot of joy. Why? Because I know that it takes a lot of work. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get through this program, and to make it through, to get selected is just a dream come true. I mean, think about it this way. It's like you've been awarded £100,000, right? And although they don't give you the money, they're giving you through the training and also offering you a job along with that. So it's a huge accomplishment, and I don't want you to take it for granted. So congratulations to you. Now, I also want to address those that may be disappointed by the outcome they got. I want you to know that I always say this every time. This process is very competitive, and it takes a lot of not just preparation, but sometimes also your ability to do well on the day of the assessment, because sometimes the difference could be just 1 point. 1 point off and you are out. And I know that sounds very, hard to believe, but that's just the reality of it. And that's because the caliber of people that go through this process are quite high. So I don't want you to be disappointed by the outcome. Rather, I want you to take the time to go back and look at the event of those days of the assessment, on the final assessment. Go back, sit down, think to yourself, what were the lessons you learned? What were the struggles you had? What were the areas you found challenging? Write out a detailed note on those areas. And then what I want you to do is think like another person, like the interviewer. Think like the person that you're talking to, the person that was interviewing you, and see what would you have liked to say. I'm sure most of you have done this already, but now that at least the outcome is out, you now know where you lie in terms of maybe you're in or you're out, right? So in this case, you're out, so you know that already. So that means some things didn't go as planned. So the question now is, how can you improve? How can you take the lessons you have gained from this experience? How can you take it to your next opportunity? You need to do this process. You need to go through this process. It's okay to be in your feelings for a little bit, but rather it's very important for you to get out of your feelings and don't feel disappointed. Don't be discouraged. Don't be don't be down for too long. It's so important for you to get out on the other side and feel, okay, what are the lessons I can take away from this experience, and be appreciative of those experiences, because when you do that, they become ingrained in you, and you are able to use them to your benefit, to your advantage on the next attempt. And remember, there is always another program around the corner. Okay, it might not be Speedbird, or it could be Speedbird. All right. So I want you to please take the time to do that. Now, that information that you're given, it's now very important for you to take it into the feedback that you'll be provided. That feedback is your golden ticket. So it's very important that you're able to compare your own assessment of the day and then compare it with the feedback you're given. So for example, your reflective session, what did you write down? Hopefully you still remember the details of that day. And then compare it to the feedback you're given. Then same thing with your speedy session. How did you answer the questions? What could you have said? What were the areas you struggled with? Things like that. And then you compared with the feedback you're given. One thing that I want you to understand is that majority of the time, the areas that you felt you didn't do well actually comes out to be the areas that you ended up doing well in. It's weird. I mean, for most part, what I've experienced so far is You may think, oh, I didn't answer this question really well, but guess what? You may have actually done really well based on the score you're given in that area. And then the area that you felt that you did excellently well on may then be the area that ended up biting you because you probably were too confident in that particular aspect, and then ended up biting you because of overconfidence. And that is something that you need to keep in mind. So that is why I want you to take the time to list out your own thought process about those areas, write it out, take notes, and then compare it with what feedback you're given. This process is very important. And I think if you do this, you're able to get the two comparisons of your own assessment of yourself and then the assessment of the interviewer with the feedback. With that information, you're able to understand exactly what you need to do better next time. It is very important you do that. Now, this is then for everybody else that didn't get to the final stage. Maybe you got out on the first phase of the first stage, or you didn't make it through the second stage, or maybe you failed on the SJT, or you didn't make it through the math because of time. All of that stuff. You remember, understand that it is very crucial that you take the lessons that has been provided through these videos. And one thing I like to say is, believe that you can do this. Know that you have what it takes to get through this process. A lot of times, majority of the people that have actually gone through this process are doing it first time and they've got through it. Now, there's some people that are trying again the second time and they've now gotten through it. And by the way, congratulations if you're still watching this video up until this point and you got through on a second attempt. Congratulations to you. And thanks for believing in yourself. Thanks for believing in the things that I talk about. Thanks for believing in your abilities that you can try again. Because remember, once a lot of people give up, I've seen people just give up like this is not for me, right? Because maybe the process is too difficult or it took too much out of them. And if you lose that belief in yourself, then that's the end. That's just it. So you don't want that to happen to you. If you didn't make it through the first phase, the second stage, the flight school assessment, or whatever that stage you might have been taken out, I want you to know that there is hope. There is always another opportunity, and there are lessons that can be learned from the whole experience. Take those lessons and work on them. Know that sometimes it's not your first one that would work out. It may not be your second one. It may not even be your third one. It may be your fourth one. You never know. But your spirit of not giving up is so important. And I just wanted to share this. Congratulate all of you. All right. Because even if you haven't made it through, even if you haven't been selected, congratulations to you, because your experience is so invaluable, because some other people don't have that experience. And that is something that you have going for you on your future assessment. Best of luck to you. Know that for those of you that will be starting training, say early 2025, know that training is another phase entirely. There's always a lot of things to talk about on how you can prepare for your training, because yes, you've been awarded this opportunity. You still have to perform well during your training. You have to do well and fly, right? Because if you struggle to fly, it may not work out in your favor as well. But the point here is you've gotten to this stage. You have what it takes to become a pilot. Congratulations to you. And I would love to see you. Click on my future video. Even though you've been selected, make sure you click on that like button. I'd love to see you next time. Take care.